Hello everybody, how's it going? Blaine here, coming at you with the very first episode of Sincerest Flattery, where I'm going to do my best to do an art style look-alike of different artists in collective. I was requested to do, I believe the name is pronounced Bonk Choi first, so I'm going to try to draw an art in their style. In the lower right hand of the screen, I've got some of their artworks going either from cards they have in the game or cards that they are trying to get in the game. And so those will be cycling the whole time, so you can kind of have an idea of what I'm attempting to do. Those are on your screen only, so I might actually be tabbing in and out, looking at the samples that I have, just to try and get an idea of what I'm going with. But to start off, Bonk reminds me a lot of myself, especially some of my first pieces. If you'll look, they do very wide swatches of color in the background a lot of times. Like on some cards, they'll do like simple things on top of that, but in general, they are just big, wide, fat pieces of color that slowly fade into another one. So I'm going to try to do one of those the best of my ability. I'm just going to knock it up to size 30 in color. And I think most of theirs are horizontal as well, so we're going to do ours horizontal to start off. We're just going to do a sky, maybe during the day, so it gets darker as you get farther away from the sun. And going back and forth these lines is always hard, but another thing you'll notice about Bonk's artwork is that there's big fat lines, and it's got kind of a, I don't want to say a messiness to it, but a roughness to it that I really like. It gives them all a very relatable feel. They all look related to each other. All the artworks as you're scrolling through. I feel like if you put all my artworks up there, it's kind of hard to see a theme or anything going between them, but even the unrelated cards that Bonk has done seem to have a kind of a style to them that is pretty consistent throughout. So, I said I'm doing just some blues for my sky, and just fading that a little darker each time. Trying to see which one. I think there's like the skeleton one, or yeah, this one right here, the basing sister. You can see they kind of did this. But what I'm going to do different, not like the basing sister, is I'm going to do kind of like you see here on the skeleton card, where we have this divided background with a little something to give the background some spice. Kind of like here this one, we did like a chalkboard and a table, except we're doing this one outside, so we will stick with that. Alright, so I'll do one more line of sky in case our background doesn't come up that high. I think I'm going to do one more, because I feel like your sky should at least cover the top half here. So we'll come one darker, and go ahead and add that last little bit of background in here. I'm just going to color this out since I'm going to do something to it anyway. I hadn't really thought about what I was going to draw, since I'm just I'm not marching anybody's styles. I'm matching some styles. I'm going to go ahead and flatten that, and what we're going to go ahead and do is save, as you should all be doing frequently. It's going to fuss at me for not having a name. Here we go. We'll call this Bonk Lookalike. There we go. And we'll save that. Always save frequently. So we've got our lines for our sky. I'm a little mad by how uneven that is. So I'm going to go back and grab that. And I'm going to give this one a little bit more of a straighter bottom here. And if you didn't know, every time you tab out, you lose your size here. So come back over here, get that one a little straighter. There we go. And now we can get this color back and give it that kind of rise right in the middle, like the rest of them have. Okay. This is going to be, let's see, on some hills. So we'll grab some green and do one dark hill in the back. I'll have to look at a couple of cards to see how Bonk does their shading. Let's see here. So they did the corner room thing on this clumsy dealer here. I've actually got a guide on how to do a little corner room if you've never seen it. You're interested in doing art, go watch that. I've got a real easy way to do it with just the square tool, so you don't have to do any drawing. Get nice corner lines. But it looks like on this one, it just looks like that's one color. But we'll look at a couple more just to see if they switch that up any. Here, this one, the fade just goes all the way down. Really not much to the background on this one. It's just there to make the picture pop. And yeah, on this one we do like a separate color here, but then it's all white. So I'm just going to do two colors for this background. One for the hill and the dark back, or one dark hill for the back, and then a lighter hill to be more up close. So we'll just have that intersect with this one. Kind of cut that hill off right there. Alright, I don't think that the hills are going to be a big part of this drawing. I think we're going to try and do a person, because I think that's what Bonk style is most notable for, is the way he does his people, or she does his people. She does his people. She does her people. Like I said, I'm unsure. But what we're going to do is we want to add something to this background, similar to the flag on this one here, just to kind of give it a, so it's not so empty. Let's do a little tree. So we're going to do one small little tree over here. We'll do a little bit of brown. And then a much darker green than we did on all the other stuff. And symmetry is not really an issue here, because in my opinion, part of the Bonk style is being a little bit asymmetrical. It doesn't have to match perfectly. Alright, so we're going to do two little trees back here. Alright, there we go. Alright, now to do one of these people. So, the face, I feel like, is the most notable part of Bonk's people. To me, something notable is he doesn't do the Blaine eyes where you do the double reflection with a large white circle and a small white circle. Like if you look here on flag bearers, they all have a color, and then they have the little white dot on there. So just one. Again, here with the clumsy dealer, it's a blue and then just a black dot. And he uses pretty much universally a single skin color on pretty much all the ones I've seen. I don't think it changes. Maybe a little darker under the chins there to give them a, yeah, that's what it is. And he actually, or she, once again, I do not know, upped the game, I'd say, on basing. If you look at basing, there's a lot of shading done, which is one of the newest pieces they've done. So that might be the reason why. But in the past, it had been very, very one-colored as far as skin goes. But we will try to capture some of that newer Bonk and add a little bit of shading in there to match kind of with Basing Sister. Once again, with the eyes here, they're a little more two-tone. We have a single reflective little dot on the Basing Sister, and kind of the same as a Wicked Alchemist as well, which is another newer one. Alright, so let's pick, what kind of person are we going to have? Let's do, I'm thinking maybe a lumberjack. That's why there's no trees left. We're going to go back and add some stumps later. He's getting ready to replant. He's already cut down the whole forest. Getting ready to plant it again. Alright, so trying to see how clothes are done on some of these. Basing Sister appears to be wearing like a tank top of sorts. That's kind of hard to see. The shading on this robe here for Calavella is notably the same as the background, big wide strokes. And then this one's kind of just a sewn in the middle jacket. So I'm going to try to go ahead and we'll go ahead and do the base person. So let's get us a skin color here. And we'll just start off with this a big old circle. I don't know what kind of hats lumberjacks wear. Do they have those that like fluffy ones that go over their ears? We might try to do that. Give them kind of a longer face here. I don't think Bonk has ever done a facial hair. I don't know that I've seen all of their artwork, but in any that I've seen, there are no beards that I can think of. On that skeleton didn't help me determine a facial hair of any kind. Let's see here. That appears to be a girl, so no beard on her. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be winging the facial hairstyle here. I guess we can kind of copy the just normal hairstyle. Something that we didn't do that I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and delete this circle and flatten this background so that if I want to move stuff around in my picture, I've only got one big piece in the background that I need to move. Alright, so let's go ahead and get us our head shape back here. Do they need to be bigger than that? How big? Yeah, way bigger than that. Bonk heads, they be taking up some space. Like that right there. Alright, so we're going to start with just the head. Go ahead and try to get us some eyeballs in there. So, I feel like we just need to pick us a color, kind of a grayish backdrop color here for our eyeballs. Then a much darker color for, I guess, the pupils here. And on the most recent ones, we do have single reflections, so we'll go ahead and give it a single reflection on there. Try to match those up so they're about the same size. Sorry if I keep pausing on you guys. I'm looking back, trying to make sure I'm being true to the original artist here with these replicas. What I'm struggling with here is noses. It looks like sometimes they don't do noses, and sometimes they do. Like Mementa has a nose, and the Basing Sister has a nose. But if the Wicked Alchemist has a nose, it's very light, very hard to tell. And the Clumsy Dealer, I definitely don't think has a nose. Maybe I'm wrong there. Alright, so we're going to do a simple nose that's just a darker version of the skin color with a small line. Just a little like that. And then another thing that I think gives Bonk's people, at least, kind of a similar style is the mouth. Kind of hard to tell there, but yeah, it's almost always a single color. Normally a smile-like shape, I like to think. I feel like some of them, like here we go, we have another single color. Most of these are smile-likes. You have like a little kitty on the little blue-mouthed, blue-faced demon. This one is sad, but again, we have that same color, just one single curve there. So I'm going to try and replicate that. Our guy's smiling here. And I feel like we just do that with one tool here. Ugh. I just hated all of that. I don't like the red, the white at all. Maybe that's the secret. We got to use one of these dark colors like with Basing Sister. Give it kind of that wide open mouth look. Let's try that out. Kind of like he's yelling timber over here. See, I don't feel like that color goes with our face as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick our color, and then I'm going to try to get closer to gray from our color. See if that makes it match up a little better. Yeah, I like that better already. So we got him yelling timber. And then another thing is I think on Basing Sister, like I said, there's some shading done. Got the eyes kind of squinted on Basing Sister, and there's actually whites of the eyes, but I think I'm going to leave mine like they are. I don't think I'm going to give him eyelids either. I think I'm just going to leave them like that. Just straight up mouth and all that. Alright, let's give him a lumberjack hat. So I feel like those are a little darker than just plain old red. And the way Bonk does hats is he normally has them just sitting on top of some hair, if I'm correct. Yeah, that one's on top of hair, that one's on top of hair. So let's go ahead and do the hair first. Do some dark brown hair here. If you'll look, the hair normally has pretty straight edges, and then like a little bit of detail work done to kind of define it. So we're going to come straight across here, give kind of a curve down. Our dude's going to have short hair because we're going to be coming over the top of it with a hat anyway. Put some hair in his eyes over here. Hasn't cut it in a while. He's a lumberjack. He's been out cutting down all the trees. We got to go back later and add some stumps back there where he's been cutting down trees. Go ahead and kind of round out his head so we can remember our head shape when we're putting a hat on there. I'm going to go ahead and Google a lumberjack hat real quick, so you guys just bear with me. We'll see what that looks like together. Alright, lumberjack hat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. These things with the ear things on there. So we got kind of like a fur flap on the top, and then just plaid ear covers. That's what we're going to go with. Alright, we want to have a beard. Let's see. Actually, let's just give him a mustache. And we actually got to do some hair details. So normally those are just a little bit lighter or darker depending on the hair color with Bonk. And then they just kind of define the route that the hair takes here. Oop, went off the edge there. And we'll do the same with our mustache. As he's yelling timber here. Alright, now let's do the base for our hat. Okay, so I feel like it's going to come across the front of the head here, and then down the sides like that. This is just going to kind of look like a helmet for a second, and if you think about it, the hat wouldn't be sitting up that far on his head because, you know, his hair stops right there. So we're going to move this down to about right here. You got to think about these things. And then I'm actually going to lighten that up a little bit because it's blended in with our hair. But I don't want to do a two-tone hat. I'm trying to think. Let me look at some of Bonk's hats real quick. Alright, there again, like I said, this is the newest one, so it does have some shading. I want to see the scientist one, the wicked scientist or whatever. Got the little skull hat going on. Let's see how different colors. Yeah, there we go. So there's like a dark ring at the bottom, then a lighter, then a lighter. So a few colors to it. So we can do like layers of colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and just delete these pieces. We're gonna go ahead and save because we haven't saved in a while. Remember, guys, you got to keep saving. Alright, so it's saved our color here, but remember the size will change every time. Gotta remember that. Alright, so our hat comes over the top, keeps his ears warm, comes up here and flips up. Once again, I'm not really concerned about symmetry here, because I said one of the cool things about all the Bonk pieces is they're a little asymmetrical, even like the people's hair. Like if you look at Memento, I don't know what's up right now because I'm in here drawing, but when you look at Memento, you'll see like the hair is it's an asymmetrical hairstyle and stuff. It gives them some personality. And see, we're losing a lot of that hair that we colored, you know, but I mean, when you're wearing a hat, the hair's covered up. But it makes the part where our hair's peeking out look like that's where it's supposed to be peeking out. Alright, I'm gonna come over and try to round this off a little bit more. Okie dokie. And this is supposed to be plaid, so once I finish filling in these gaps that come uncolored when you stop drawing on the old art editor here, I come in and do a couple of different things. Forgive my Discord notifications there. Do some quick stripes for our plaid. Then we'll come in here in a second and fill those in, make them some squares. And we're going to do this in just one direction. Like I said, to kind of continue that one-dimensional aspect of it, but we are going to curve the ones going over the top here. Just try to establish us some squares to color in for our plaid. And remember, we're going to come over the top here because we got a little fur top peeking out. So now we're going to grab some black, fill in just a few squares here and there. I'm not actually going to fill this one in because it's going to be covered up, but that would be one that I filled in if I wasn't going to cover it up. So we got another black one there. Get a black one going there. We'll do one down here in this corner as well. Alright, and then I'm also going to choose that and just do a darker red in a few squares as well. Right here. Right here. Right there. And then we're going to do a real thin line of black stripes going the other way as well. Alright, so now we're going to do our gray fur on the front flap here. We can pick a much bigger brush for that. Like that. Come in there with a little bit of a lighter gray and a smaller brush and just do some little swirlies. Try and show that this is a fur front here. I might even come back here in a second. The more I look at it, the more I want to do this. Grab this red and do just an outline up on the sides of this. Like that. Kind of show that it's coming from up under the hat there. And that gives it kind of a little bit of a separation from that other piece. Alright. Now, come back and grab my skin color and make it a little bit darker. So we can do that neck section. And for now, we're just going to make the neck kind of, just fat. Because we just need to be able to see it. And I'll show you why it was important that we flattened our background earlier. Because now, this neck should be behind the head, of course. So, we can move it to the back. And then move the background to the back. And now, our neck is behind our head. Alright, now, we need to give them a shirt. So our lumberjack, he's going to be wearing, we're going to save ourselves some handwork here. We're just going to put him in a blue shirt. A nice dark blue shirt. And so if I'll show you something real quick. You can just do like a little splotch like this on each side of the neck. And then move those to the back. And then again, always move your background to the back. And now, if you connect those, then it looks like your shirt goes behind the neck. Just like that. Alright, now, I'll look back. I'm trying to see how shoulders are done. With these guys, they just kind of go into arms, but Bonk draws a lot of tank tops, is what I've decided, because none of these folks got sleeves. Now this bad drawer, or terrible drawer, appears to have sleeves, but then there's no hands, so maybe they're just shirtless and have yellow skin. Alright, here we go. This person's got sleeves. So Momentous got sleeves, and a pretty average shaped neck. Once again though, Basin Sister, no sleeves. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and draw like a body shape here. Just get that out of the way. And then if I decide to define some arms here in a second. Actually, that's what I need to do. So this is way too fat out. What we need to do is just give the little body like a little stick here, like he's a big French fry with a shirt on. And then we just add the arms in. And we can darken those up a little bit. Make sure we let him keep a neck there. Don't want to delete his neck. Alright, there we go. So we've got a little French fry thing. And then we can give him a shoulder arm here. I feel like you can see where these colors are not meshing. That doesn't make any sense because I'm not transparent at all. Maybe it's just my screen holding color. We'll see later. But now this arm, so there we go, okay. So I just kind of want the arm to stick out like that. There we go. We're going to give them a hatchet in that hand. And then this hand is going to be down beside them like this. Maybe that one should be darker so that we can see the difference there. It should actually, I think, be a little lighter because that'd be the one a little closer to us. If the sun was out, that'd be the arm catching it, you know. So we'll give this arm a little bit of light coloration, but that is just way too light. So let's go back to here and come over just a hair, like that. See if that shows up. Yeah, there we go. We can see that difference at least. So we got our arm coming down here. I'm going to go ahead and do some buttons on our shirt, just to establish that this is the way that his belly is. And then we have to give him some hands. And I'm not real good at hands, so we're just going to do like one of these ball hands here with a thumb so that he can be grabbing something. And then we're going to grab our sleeve color again and just do one little swoop to cover up it, make it look like it's coming out of there. And then we'll give him a hatchet, or an axe, whatever you want to call it here. And once again, we can color over his hand a little bit because we can just grab that same color and fix that here in a second. Alright, so there's our hatchet. We'll grab our hand color again. And we'll just color over where the hatchet is being held by him. There we go. And now we've got to give it a head so that it can cut things. And you got to have that little red line on the end of your hatchet. Just so you know, if you own like a real hatchet, this gets wiped off like the first day that you're chopping stuff. But in all the artwork, they've always got the red line on there. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. So I'm going to flatten it. You always lose a little bit of detail when you flatten it. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Kind of have the focus be on the dude here. And then we're going to go back in. And we're going to be a little not like Bonk here. We're going to add some stumps all over where he's been cutting down in this forest. We're even going to add like a fallen tree or two. We're going to be more like Wicked Alchemist Bonk, having a more detailed background, having some trees falling here. And we'll actually come over here on our brighter side and add another tree as well. So we pick our green, make it just a hair brighter, and give ourselves a tree over here. And let's see how that looks. There we go. I'm happy with that. So this is going to be our Bonk Lumberjack. We'll throw our name on there. Thrifty Fishing. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sincerest Flattery. Like I said, I'm going to keep doing all kinds of people, trying to see if I can match their art style to the best of my ability. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time. Y'all have a great day.